Don't even strive on negative vibes, 'cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We only have one life to live, and we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, 'cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. We should always try to live a positive life anyway.
I like how that's working. That's a cassette. We started from the top. See what this is working with.
We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, 'cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. All right, I'm not gonna sing that whole song. That was my song that I wrote back in 1990. Those who don't know. Those who may not know. That's just what it is. Welcome, family. Welcome, family. Welcome, family. It's your brother King Simon passing through another Numerovational fly-by-night. This is a fly-by-night. Fly-by-night. Things I want to keep people aware of, especially when you plan on doing a Numerovational session with me. I'll drink to that. The name of that tune is One Life to Live. That was on Jammy's record label back in the day. That was the blue label Jammy's had. 1990, and in back on the other side of it was Kirpotan's God Me Love and Me No Love Siatan. God Me Love, Kirpotan was on the other side of it, and my song was on the B side, One Life to Live. Yeah, me and Kirpotan was on the Jammy studio back in the day in Jamaica Waterhouse back in the day, 1990. So I know Kirpotan years. I've known Kirpotan for years. People like Kirpotan, I've known Beanie Man for years. I knew Buju for years. I've known Shaba for years. Shaggy and I went to Erasmus High School. Will Downing Jr. went to Erasmus High School with us. We all went to that particular school. Some great people. So yeah. So hey, want to thank everybody that tuned in, that's been watching, that's seen the energy that seen Billy Carson's show. I want to thank everybody that supports Brother Rich, because Brother Rich is also one of those people that helped me. And Sonetta is another person that helped me. That's right. And you know, that's what he called himself, King Shango. That's my boy. His birthday is April the 13th, so I'm not surprised he calls himself King Shango. That's a fire energy. He's that war god. So, Aries, he's Kirpotan is an Aries, misnomer Aries, but he's under that energy. So King Shango. As a matter of fact, I used to call myself Shango back in the day. I didn't call myself King Shango. I called myself Shango. That was one of the names that I chose because I have a fire number. My fire number 1. 1 is a fire number. And each number in numerology has an element connected to it, also has a gender connected to it. So, when you study or take my course, if you decide to take my course, you find that out. And as a matter of fact, I got 3 hardcover books left. 3 hardcover books. If you want it signed, sealed, delivered, it's yours. 3 of them left on hand. I got 3 of them left. Wow. All hardcover. And they're $45. $45 include shipping and handling. So you don't have to pay for shipping and handling. It includes shipping and handling. $45 includes shipping and handling. You have to DM me and I will send you the Cash App or the PayPal link, and I will send it to you. But it's $45 for those hardcover books. I only got 3 of them left that I can sign with your name, autograph it, my signature, and everything. Because when you sign these 3 books that I have left of Numerovation for Mental Stability, like I said, they're $45, and I will sign them for you. And when authors sign a book, they become a collector's item in years to come for yourself and your family. Very good. Hardcover. These are the only hardcovers I have. I have no money. When you go to Amazon, you're only going to get the soft cover. I'd have to order the hardcover for you to get the hardcover. So that's how that works. So just wanted to point out some things about numbers. I'm not going to do any necessary consultations while here, because consultations to me are very serious. That's why I don't just do quick readings. I don't like to do that because I don't like to do that kind of stuff because again, people treat what we're doing like parlor tricks, and that's not good, because in actuality, like I said on Billy Carson's show, it's really about putting in the work and maximizing and activating your numbers. Whatever level you can do it, whatever level you choose to do it, is up to you. Let me turn on this fan because this it's hot up in here. It's hot up in here. You know, in my studio here. Let me turn on the fan. So there it is. So it's very important that if you're going to do a consultation with anybody, I don't care if it's an astrologer, I don't care if it's a cosmophysician, I don't care if it's a numerologist, I don't care if it's a cardologist, I don't care, Ife, whatever system, Akan, whatever. You have to be willing to put in the work. There's work entailed in this. This is not hocus pocus. Now, numerology is not one of those sciences that deal with psychic abilities, but because of the interpretations of the numbers, it can seem like it's a psychic thing, but it's not. It's not psychic at all. It's a way to apply your numbers and recognize the cycles and the sequences in your numbers and how to work the patterns, cycles, and sequences. Just like the GPS. GPS is a clear definition or analogy that I can make with numerology, because what we do with the GPS is put in the address, which entails numbers, and then it triangulates what's going on in the area till you get to where you got to go. And each triangulation, it shows you where there's obstruction, there's destruction, where there's police movement, where there's accidents. So numerology helps to identify that in a more faster way. So when you come and do a session with me, it's important that you ask questions, and especially asking questions pertaining to you and where you want to go with your life, what you want to do in this realm, because this is the realm that we're dealing with right now. And like Les Brown would say, one of my teachers in the motivational field, and I'm sure he's many of yours if you ever listen to Les Brown, born on February the 17th, 1945. Les always says, and I believe he's quoting somebody else also. So if I don't know the name of the person that he quotes, but Les Brown always say, the richest place on earth is not the gold and the diamond mines. It's the graveyards. The graveyards are the richest place. Why? Because there's many people like ourselves, and I include myself, that go to our graves without revealing our talents, without expressing our gifts to the world. Even if it's on a minor level, some of us do this because we are afraid. And we got to learn to overcome fear. And like I said on Brother Billy's, quoting a young motivational speaker who I'm sure he got it from somebody else, everything we want is on the other side of fear. Everything we want. And I know that from my own experiences and studying the patterns and cycles and sequences and in my own life. All I had to do was overcome fear. All I had to do was overcome the negative part of ego. Because there's a positive part of ego and there's a negative. We always talk about the negative of ego. But the positive of ego is what makes you want to do something of benefit for yourself and your family. That's the positive part of ego. The negative part of ego is the one that's the ones that draws things down and destroys things that can be very destructive. So there's a positive part of the ego because all of us are coming through to at least share our ego with other people. But it's how we share our ego. Ego, as far as the acronym to me, the positive part of ego is expressing God's originality or expressing your greatness and originality. The negative part of ego is like what Les Brown would say, etching God out or etching your greatness out of you. Don't etch your greatness out. Don't etch it out of you, but expand it. Expand it into things that you want to do. Expand it into talents that you have. Some of you are dancers. Some of you are writers. Some of you are talkers. Some of you are singers. Some of you sing good in the bathroom and you know you can sing, but you're afraid to get in front of the microphone. Here's a microphone just in case. I have a microphone. And I'm going to tell y'all something. And like I said to Billy, I said, I used to be afraid of the microphone. I used to be afraid of the microphone. You know what I'm saying? I used to be afraid of it. But when I overcame that fear, man, woo! Like I told them, I've been on every major stage except the Barclays Center. Been in Randall's Island, been in Forest Hill Stadium as an MC. As a comedic MC, I was on these major stages, bringing on people. And sometimes that's even as an MC, because remember, the mic controller or the MC is the one that has to set the vibe and the energy for the show. So I opened up every show and sometimes closed every show. And in between, we had other MCs, but I was the main MC for a lot of shows. You know, thank you very much. Billy's show was very great. I'm getting a lot of response. I mean, I got a waiting list going into September right now. So if you are trying to book a session, know that I have a waiting list, please. It's a waiting list. And I'm texting people and telling people, be patient. Or I'm telling them, it's been very busy. You know, every time I do people like Brother Rich's show, and this is the first time I did Billy Carson's show. Both of them are Virgos, mind you. And those two Virgo energies have definitely helped me out a lot. Those two Virgo energies. So I got a certain love to Brother Rich, Billy Carson, but also the great Sonetta, who also set me on the path too. You know, also set me on a path. So it is what it is. So one thing I've recognized in numbers, especially when it comes to family members or friends, you'll find if just like if two friends come to me and do a session, you might find that there's similarities in their sessions and in their readings, because remember, we attract our tribe. So sometimes if that part of your tribe is not supposed to do a thing, maybe you're supposed to do it. And they might have similar numbers and similar signs just like you. You know, or have a connection that may be another level of the mathematics that you're connected to, maybe in their name, maybe in their first name, their middle name, their last name, maybe in their birthday. So, and sometimes they're in that cycle. So some people come to me and they might feel that it's similar with certain things, because most people, when they come to people like me, they really want to find out more about relationship, business, health, all of that. That's the basic premise of our people, because that's what they feel would make them a little happier. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes them feel a little happier. Relationship, business, family, you know, and various things. But it's always the main, those are always basically the main subject, which I understand you got to focus on certain things dealing with you. So when you do come to a session with me, a lot of people, they don't know what questions to ask. I'm like this. You're a grown person living a life. You need to ask questions, because you just sent finance to somebody you don't know, and you want somebody to just read your life. No, it's not about reading your life. It's about giving you guidance. And if I say something that is similar or to your life, then you need to learn how to use it and recognize the patterns of it, so you don't make either the negative mistakes again, and start repeating the positive things. There's times when you, in certain cycles, that's when you made your most money. Sometimes you have to learn to go back to that time or that year and remember, and then if you tell me that year, then I can pinpoint what year you were in and show you that the cycle that you're about to go in, it matches that year. It's just that if you never did the necessary work to take it to that next level, maybe you fell on bad times during the other cycles, it happens. But it's all about staying focused, staying positive. Believe me, you're talking to somebody that's been through it also. I'm nobody different than you. It's just that I've learned to find my talent, use my talent, recreate it, reinvent it, and help serve the community, which I am supposed to do, especially born under a humanitarian sign, like Aquarius, being a humanitarian. One of the human signs, so to speak. When you see humanitarian sign, that means one of the human side, according to what has been translated over the years. So, and I just wanted to come on and say that because many of you might have your children. You want to do a session with your children, or you want to do a session you and your wife, you and your friend, or your good friend, or somebody you're trying to get with. I don't do compatibility sessions anymore because a lot of people ain't serious in their relationship. Some people will just contact you just to find out if this person is good for you, if you attracted that person, whether they are your power numbers or your challenge numbers, or whether they're your challenge sign or your harmonious signs, you attracted them for a reason. But I tell people, regardless of what sign or what number they are, they come with their traumas and dramas. And if they're not willing, and if you and that person is not willing to walk that healing path with each other, of course the relationship ain't gonna work. It's gonna be turbulence. And me and Lloyd, one of my teachers, he we believe we can get along with anybody. Once we know your numbers and your birthday, we can get along with anybody. Do we want to get along with everybody? Not all the time. Sometimes we know who's going to be a challenge to me. I know when you text me, when you send a birthday to me, I know if this person is either a challenge to my best or my worst. I know if this person is going to be a favorable number to work with. Just by sending me a text, I'm already doing a assessment of who you are. Once you send me your name and your birthday, I'm already doing a quick assessment. And I'm being honest. Sometimes I'll say, you know what, let me give this one to Lloyd. They need to hear Lloyd's message. Or I might say, go to Kaya. You need to hear Kaya's message. Or I'll send you to a Ra'aku and say, you need to know this message. You need to go to Ra'aku, or you need to go to Aquarius Maximus. I tell you to go. I usually, when people send me their numbers and I think it's spiritual or it's deeply spiritual, my intuition, because all of us have intuition, all of us have psychic abilities. All of us have it. It's just that a lot of us are not using it. It's called intuition. So if my intuition says, oh, they need to see Sister Khadija with Brother Panic, or they need to see Brother Panic, or they need to see Phil Valentine, or they need to see this, or they need to see that person, or they need mental counseling. I'm not a mental health practitioner. I break down the numbers that are connected to mental health, but I'm not a mental health practitioner. That's the disclaimer I put in my book all the way through. So it's very important that we and I'm not afraid to share the wealth. Some people might not share my information with other people. I'm not afraid to share the wealth because there's billions of people on this earth. Money gonna come. If you think in abundance constantly, it's gonna come. I think that things are circulation. This is all about circulating. It's just like yin and yang. It's like the martial arts. It's all about circulation. You do Tai Chi, it's all about the circulation of the earth and the heavenly energies. That's all it's about. It's also about, even this is about circulation. So it's important that we recognize that if you don't know something, be willing to give it to somebody else that can help that person. And that's the type of person I am and have always been. That's why Queen Afua, her birthday was just yesterday. Queen Afua always say, I was the connector. I'm the person that connects people to other people. If I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know, or it is above my pay grade, and move you to somebody else that has trained in that, probably have 10,000 hours in that, and move you to that person. I got no problems with that. And that's what we need to learn how to do with each other. We need to learn how to share the wealth. So I need all of you out there to start thinking on a circulatory energy. Circulate your money. Circulate and watch. And I'm telling you, oh man. And my sons and my daughters recognize it, but more so my sons because they're more connected to me stronger. Sometimes I can send them money. I'll send them $200 or $300 or $100, depends on what it is. Like my son, he wanted to do a party for the grandchildren and all that in the family, and I sent him $100. Yo, within the hour or within 24 hours, $100 to $200 or $400 might come back because I'm circulating it freely. Especially when you're dealing with your family and dealing with helping other people, it comes back to you freely. But you gotta have that mindset. You gotta have that mindset of circulation. And what happens in circulation? It's a flow, like the person just said on here. It's a flow. It's a flow. It's a flow. You gotta give and yield. You gotta give and yield. That's how this thing works. And I think everybody in here should study the basics of Tai Chi. Everybody should study the basics of Tai Chi because it shows you how to relate and connect with the yin and the yang. And I think also men and women, if you're in a partnership, y'all should practice it together. The yin and the yang, working the energy. You know, Aquarius 22. Don't believe it, know it. We're in the age of Aquarius. We're tipping the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is about knowing, not believing no more. Stop that. See, that's belief don't hold true to facts. But if I start seeing the patterns and cycles keeping coming back to me, now it's become a fact because now I've done the data, I've done the research, and now it's a fact. So don't believe no more. Know that you are who you are. Know that it will circulate for you. That's what I'm doing. I tell my children all that, yo, I'll give you this, and all of a sudden it comes back. I give them this, and it come back. I give my mother this for the taxes on the house, and it comes back. It comes back. So it's deep. So, but we have to know that thoughts are things, and if we're not able to think the right way, like I said before in my earlier feed, if we're not thinking the right way, then it won't manifest. I'm just saying. So when people come to me with their friends or their family and all that, they might have similar vibration and energy because you do attract your tribe. You attract the challenges of your tribe, and you attract the favorable and the power energy of your tribe. You just have to recognize what tribe you are allowing in your space, and are they challenging you to be your best or your worst? Your mother and your father could be a challenge to your best or your worst. Your sister and your brother can be a challenge to your better or your worse. Your cousins can be a challenge. The person that molested you was a challenge. That was the lesson you had to learn, or that's the lesson that you had to go through so you could probably be of help to other people. Oh yes. Like I've said this before. 2 of my female cousins fondled me as a child, but they didn't fondle me in a sexual manner. They just was trying to torture me. But me and them are still loving family today. But when I researched, or when we started talking about it, come to find out they got molested or tortured by certain men or cousins in the family or certain uncles in the family. Cycle continues. It might cycle off in another way, where they wanted to torture me as a male because of how they was treated as a female. So these cycles come back. So that was a lesson I had to go through. That was a lesson they had to go through. Lessons and blessings. So they was able to teach their daughters or their sons not to be an asshole, or be careful of this person, or be careful. Some people has to be the sacrificial lamb, and sometimes it's the parents, or sometimes your parents before you. Sometimes your own parents go through a lot of stuff that they won't even tell you because they don't have this outlet. Now we're in the sensitive age of technology, but it's also a very sensitive age where people are now considering even therapy, when therapy in the quote-unquote black community was taboo back in the day. Therapy? What I need a shrink for? What I need a shrink? I don't need a goddamn shrink. No, I'm in Jamaica now. I don't need no blood clot shrink. Me no, you know, no shrink thing. We don't want no man in my head. They don't even say head. They don't want nobody in them head. That's my family. I got Jamaican, English, American, all that in my family. So that's just real. So it's very important that numerology is used as one of the modalities to guide you. That's why I wrote this book, like I showed you on Billy Carson's show. That's why I wrote this book. That is why I wrote this book. Because, yes, it's Numerovation for mental stability, but on the bottom, the subtitle, A Numerovational Guide to Recognizing Mental Instability and Staying Motivated, by your brother, King Simon. She said, oh my, you're funny. I used to work with all the comedians in New York. I used to do comedy back in the day. Y'all ain't catch me when I was doing my thing, but I'm a comedic MC now. I'm when I host a show, you got. If I host one of your shows, you got a show that's been hosted. Believe me, I am not new to this. I'm true to this. But I didn't want to stay on here long, but I did want to address certain things that sometimes a friend of yours can be getting a session done. I don't like to call them readings. I like to call them consultations or advisory, because let's see if I got that book right here. No, I packed up a lot of my books because I'm moving. But because older astrologers and numerologists back in the days was not called readers. They was called advisors. They're part of the advisory board to advise the president, to advise the queen, to advise the king, to advise Hitler. Hitler had astrologers with him. And all of your presidents have astrologers or numerologists around them. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta revamp and reflip how we're saying things. Because when you come to me, it's a consultation. It is not, I repeat, it is not a reading, quote unquote. Because I don't need to read grown ass people. Y'all need to know yourself already. And if you don't know yourself by now, I can't put it on a 13-year-old and I can't put it on a 10-year-old. But once you get past those age and get into your 20s, you know yourself, who you are and what you like and what you don't like by the time you reach 18, 19, 20. Sometimes you might want to show off and show your ass, but that's why it's so important on how you teach your young people. That's why in the scriptures it says, if you teach a child from young, they will never depart. You got to teach them young. And sometimes they become prodigal children. Remember in the scripture they had that prodigal son. He went off and did his thing and then came back, and the father killed the fatty calf and had a celebration because the father and the mother taught the child well. That's why he came back and and the father cut up the fatty calf and had a celebration because he's so happy that his son or his daughter returned back home alive and well. That's the importance of that whole metaphor. The prodigal son and the prodigal daughter. You're going to have your daughters and your sons go at you and argue with you or do this or want to debate with you and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's natural. They don't want to listen to what you say. But if you gave them some guidance from when they was young, they listening. They probably telling their own friends. Yeah, my mom used to say this, or yeah, my dad said this, and boom, boom, boom. And then the friends say, you know, my dad used to say the same thing. Oh yeah, my mom used to say the same thing. I've experienced it. I know this. That's why I tell my children, look, I was born in the morning, but not yesterday morning. I was born in the morning, but not yesterday morning. You know, I was born at night, but we're not born last night. You know, and that's why they can't pull too much stuff over me. You know, because I've lived a life. You know, I remember Wendy Williams used to say that. I've lived from a young age up until now. I've been doing parties. I was in a club. Matter of fact, I was born in a club era when my father owned a club the year I was born. So they was carrying me down there. I was listening to music. I was here from the time I can walk. Me in at the club and I dance and I bounce. Whatever reggae music, whatever R&B from I was a child. So I've been in that life for years. So you can't tell me nothing about the club life really that I don't know. You know, other than I stayed away from the deep gangster stuff. I was more like managerial or the MC as I got into it. That's what I was doing, or security. So that's going to be in my autobiography called When the Late Bell Rang. That's going to be in my autobiography. I got the website, but the website www.whenthelatebellrang leads straight to the numbers website until I get all of that up and running. I just wanted to make sure. Oh yeah, so yeah, man, but I took it to a whole nother level, that club life. I went to radio, I went to television, I went to hosting shows, because you're supposed to take it to the next level. If you're in and then I took what I learned from the club and started promoting for consciousness. That's when I packed out the Dr. Sabi event. That's when I was packing out Ashra Kwesi events. That's when I was packing out Phil Valentine events. That's when I was packing out many of our great speakers events in New York City, and I'm about to take it on the road. I'm about to take it down to Atlanta, to Georgia, and I'm about to take it to do some events in Florida. So those are the ones that look like I'm going to be doing. So if you live in the Atlanta area, the Georgia area, I'll be down there. We're looking at doing something major out there. I'm thinking about Phil Valentine, but I think I'm going to save Phil for Florida. Since he lives in Florida and he's talking his stuff, and Florida seems to work with Phil. So I'm looking at Dr. Phil Valentine coming back out again. Or I might just do it online, but the online, people are not, but I might do an online thing, but our people need to energetically connect more. They need to come back to connected. They're trying to separate us, and that's not good. I'll be passing through the Carolinas. Matter of fact, big up to my ex-wife. My former wife has a nice store, the Nuapian store over on Betty Ford. She has it in North Carolina, in Charlotte. She owns that store. So big up to my former wife, Amunette. So she has a nice store over there. They have a whole nice little community going on over there, black-owned businesses. Also, big up to in Greensboro, North Carolina. Big up to Copper Vibrations. Copper Vibrations are very good at what they do. They make some great, excellent, I got some of their stuff here, but they make some of their great, excellent jewelry. And big up in Winston-Salem, you have a chef that's doing great work out there, Sister Valid. It's called Kitchen Ashe. Kitchen Ashe. She has a very good hand with her food. So if you're out there in North Carolina, I'll see if I could do an event in North Carolina too. Definitely got to do something in North Carolina. And definitely Georgia though, but I'll be in Georgia in the month of September, October, then into November, then going to Florida. Then I'll be in Florida for that whole duration until April, till around my mother's birthday in April. So, family, just wanted to say it is what it is. And remember, numerology is not anything psychic. Please, no, it's not psychic. Astrology ain't even psychic. These are just sciences that reveals your patterns and cycles and your sequences in your life. From your past to your present. Astrology is probably a little bit more in depth because they deal with the ephemeris, they deal with all of the different houses and all that kind of stuff. That's why I always recommend people like Quiet Storm Astrology, QS Astrology, or Ra'aku Cosmophysics. Kaya French, she's also a good astrologer and a numerologist. She does numerical analysis. And of course Lloyd Strayhorn, but Lloyd is more stronger, staying strong on his numbers. Of course, other great people that are doing that, cardology. Do it all. Get the full picture. If you're going to do any sessions, do a multitude of them. If you can't do it in one time, do once a month or do one every year. Whatever you can do. You just want to know yourself better while you're in this realm. Sister Khadija and Brother Panic, they do a nice couples session with people too. They do a nice couples session. Brother Panic and Sister Khadija. As a matter of fact, Sister Khadija's birthday is the same day as Marcus Garvey's birthday, and that's coming up. And tomorrow, I'm doing an interview on YouTube tomorrow with a beautiful Leo spirit named Shanique Marie. Very beautiful humming songbird from out of Jamaica. So make sure you tune into my YouTube channel on King Simon Presents. That's KSPTV. That's YouTube, King Simon Presents on YouTube tomorrow. And on Wednesday, I'm going to be bringing Sister Kafunya, music to healing, from music to healing. She's a crystal stone healer. She does the chakra work, so I'm going to be bringing her on. You've seen her on the Lance Scurv show. And Tuesday, I believe I'm doing something with Anusa, but I'm going to confirm that. She's been under the weather, so she might not be able to come on, and want to show her some love anyway. And then on the 22nd, I'm going to have Sister Oshun is going to be in the building. She got a new book out. Sister Oshun from out of California. She got a new book out, so we're going to talk about that. And so far, so good. That's where we at. Again, if you want to do a session with me, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. I'll put that in the chat right here. 347-496-1022. You can do that. But just remember, I do have a waiting list going into September. So please be mindful of that. I do have a waiting list going into September. So please be patient with your brother. I can't wait to talk to you also. Again, write down your questions that resonates with you, even if it's just 3 or 2 or 1 question. From there, I keep on going anyway, because I still got to go through your name, your birthday, depending how long you pay for. Right now, I'm only doing 30 minutes, and I usually go over probably like 5 minutes, probably maybe 10 minutes, just so you can get clarity if you need to ask more questions. But definitely, it's very important, if you do a session with me, have your questions of what you want to do with your life. You got to be able to, and that's why I don't tell people to constantly depend on numerology or astrology and all that stuff. Live your life. You remember that song? Live your life. Live your life. Sometimes you got to live your life, but consult when you need to consult. Be coached and guided when you need to be guided. When you feel like you're a little stuck, that's why. Somebody on here said they felt a little stuck. Cool. It's all right to feel stuck. Sometimes you being stuck this means that you're scattered. Your mind is all over the place and don't know where to go, when all you have to do is one thing at a time and knock it right out. Sometimes you can't knock out all your bad habits one time. Sometimes you have to do the 21-day habit detox, or the 22-day habit detox, or the 10-day habit detox. There's a habit detox too, not just a physical internal detox. There's physical, spiritual, mental, all of that. Sometimes you got to go through that, family. So take that time to know who you are before you come to me. Take that time to really remember, or recall what you used to love to do when you was a child. Ask your parents. Ask a reputable or a responsible adult that was around you. What is it that I used to love to do while I was growing up, while I was in my childhood going into my adolescence, before I got dumbed down for some reason? Because some of us get dumbed down in school. Some of us got dumbed down by other people, friends and all that. But some of us are living or walking that journey, but they still have more to accomplish. Like I said earlier, Brother Les Brown once said, and he was quoting somebody else, he said, the richest place on the earth is not the diamond mines or the gold mines or the platinum mines. It is the graveyard. Because many people are going to their graves without revealing their talents, their skills, or honing their talents and skills and gifts. My mother's an excellent singer. She never became a singer. I became the singer. My son is now owns recording studios. He's taking it to the next level, becoming a singer. He already sang in Paris and those places. You got to look at those things, man. You got to look at those things. You got to look at those things. You got to study your own patterns. And you could use your numbers to accomplish your goals. So let's say you're born on the 10th of the month or the 14th of the month. Finish what you want to accomplish in 14 days, 14 weeks, 14 months, 14 years. So you can have short-term goals, which is days and weeks and months, to the 14 years, and keep on using your particular number. Even if it's one day, you could use the 10, the 19, or the 28, because all of them add up to 1 eventually. I'm just showing you how this thing works, how this thing can work for you. Numbers are your friends, but if you don't know how to use it, it is. You got to learn how to use it. Oh, that's good. Hey, my book, and if you gotta, and remember, in back of all my books, there's recommended reading. Go and study. Not just my books. I tell you, look, there's enough money to go around. That's what I'm not afraid of people reading other stuff and even knowing a little bit more, because sometimes you're teaching me. That's why when people take my classes, whether they're live or they're pre-tape, and I do have an 8-hour course out there that costs $222.22, 8 hours, but it's yours. Once you buy the link, it's yours, and you can look it over and watch it over again as much as you want. But I don't call people who take my class students. I call them my participants. I don't call people who take my class students. I'm not into that ego. It's all right. I respect people that say my students, my students. I call you my participants, because we are participating in a sharing of energy. You're enjoying what I'm sharing, and I'm receiving your joy of what you're sharing. So you could come up with something out of the blues and say, hey, Brother King Simon, I studied this. What do you think about that? And I will look at it and say, you know what? I never studied it from that angle. Let me go check it out. So I'm learning from you. So we're participating in the energetic exchange. So I don't call none of my people students that train under me or learn from me. You know what I'm saying? I really don't do that. I don't like that. Ask any of my participants. I don't call them students. Nah, because you might take it to another level after, as I'm getting older. You're supposed to, like Lloyd, I'm taking it to my level. I'm using it from I'm evolving numerology and calling it Numerovation from my perspective. Like Lloyd evolved numerology and blended the two worlds and called it astronumerology. He is the one that popularized that. I'm popularizing Numerovation. That's why when you go online and you type in this name, Google this name, and you're going to see nothing but me coming up, because I'm branding it online. I'm branding it. So in the next 10, 100 years or 100 years, Numerovation is going to be both. Yo, this brother named King Simon did Numerovation, where he blended the numbers and motivational principles to give people guidance. Boom. Because that's all Numerovation is. It's the wonderful world of numbers helping you to be motivated better. And using some motivational principles that I've studied. Like I said, I've studied under Les Brown. I've studied the Eric Thomas. I'm still studying the Eric Thomas. I'm still studying all of them. Tony Robbins, Iyanla Vanzant, Lisa Nichols. I study all of them. Jack Ma. I study all of them. Anybody that speaks, I study. You know? So, thank you. Thank you. I got to take a drink. Thank you. Hey. If your birthday was yesterday, yeah, man, you're in a reputation cycle. If your birthday was yesterday, you're in a reputation cycle for the next 52 days. Build your reputation. Start some new business. This is a good time for you to do that. 43 says you need to research. You need to. 43, being 43 now, says you need to be disciplined in what you do and be willing to expand in what you do. But do the research. You gotta do the necessary research. Dot every I and cross every T. That's the only thing I'm gonna say for you for that. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. As a matter of fact, Lloyd says I need to keep on plugging this. Do you know my book and Lloyd Strayhorn books is amongst the top 100 most requested numerology books in the world? They put that up out there, and Lloyd shared that with me. My book, Lloyd is number 8, mine is number 30, but I'm in we are in the top 100. And Lloyd said for me to be able to have accomplished that in 5 years, when his book has been out for years, and he's number 8. To me, Lloyd is number 1. He's number 8. But to me, Lloyd, on that 100 numerology books in the world. But I say Lloyd is number 1 because Lloyd has done some fantastic stuff in what he's done. But he's number 8, and I'm number 30. Myself, I'm number, and Lloyd, yesterday when I talked to Lloyd just kept on saying it. Simon, do you understand what that means to be amongst the 100 most requested, most sought after a numerology book in the world? Not just in New York, in the world, and be number 30? And that's with my first book. No, not this book. This book just came on the market. Not this book. With my first book, numbers are simple, people are complicated. That's what Lloyd kept on saying it to me, and I told him, and being humble that I am, I said, Lloyd, it really ain't kick in yet. And he was like, no, brother, believe me. He said, I've been doing this for years. Lloyd has been doing it since the 70s, and his book been out since those times, around the 80s. So for me to only have written that book since 2014, 2015, and it to be number 30 on the top 100 most requested numerology book, he said, that's a feat, brother. That is a feat. And I guess I gotta receive it. You know, I'm starting to receive it. I'm starting to sit on it, and that's why I'm saying it on here. You know, and for my teacher to say that and was really emphasizing that, is bringing tears to my eyes, because he recognized something in me, and that's good. And I recognized something in him. That's why I started studying with him. But it's about recognition and giving people their props. And Lloyd Strahan's father said to him before he died, he said, always never be afraid to give a man or woman their props. Never be afraid to give your father their props or something you learn, or your mother their props or something, or your friend or something their props. I ain't afraid to do that. That's why I got a bibliography in the book, and I'll tell you who's who and what's what. I'm not afraid to give somebody their props when I know they are excellent at what they do, and that's what they came to do. That might be one of the gifts. So it might be it's my gift to the world to create Numerovation. So we won't look at numbers as only something just to read somebody, but also a guiding mechanism out of the mental ills of stuff that's going on. Just to give you a reminder, because in the book I give you both the positive and the negative, so you can see you got to manage your weaknesses. Manage the negative that might pop up anytime. All of us get these little negative thoughts that pop up. Negative music, negative this. Sometimes we're in cycles. I've been in cycles, and then I just started crying out of nowhere. And I know many of you have gone through it too. We've been in cycles where we just started crying out of nowhere, in the bed or in your shower or whatever, or you get upset out of nowhere. And then when I consult the numbers, I find that I'm in that cycle, that daily cycle, or that yearly cycle, or that monthly cycle. Like Dr. Africa says in his book, men and women go through cycles. It's not just the menstrual cycle that women are going through. Men go through cycle too, where they can act bitchy or mitchy. Let's put it like that. Mitchy. They can act mitchy. Pardon my language. Some of us go through those cycles. You know, women will tell you, oh, you acting that way. Women will point it out to you quick. Women will point that out to you quick, that you acted a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You know, because they've seen that energy. You know, they felt that energy. You know, one of my friends always say, yeah, man, you was acting like a pum. She'd say you acting like a pum. Back in my day, when dealing with certain things, you know, and allowing certain things, she said, boy, that day you was a pum. Because that shouldn't have happened. So big up to her for even saying that. Big up to Kat for even saying that. But you got to have those accountable friends that's willing to tell you certain things. Now, you don't have to be nagging another person, but sometimes you got to have that accountable friend or accountable family member that's going to be willing to tell you the truth. and say, yo, you need to get this straight, or no, because remember, we're like pictures on the wall. It's like a picture. And sometimes you don't see yourself in the picture. And sometimes you could be tilted. You could be tilted, and sometimes you need somebody to straighten you out and get you on the right path. You know, and sometimes it takes a little time. You have to look at it, make sure it's straight. Hey, is that straight? No, you got to get it a little bit. Okay, is that straight? No, it's still a little tilt. Oh, is that straight? There it goes. Oh, there it goes. It hanging well. It looks good. There it goes. Because you're in the picture. Remember that. You're in the picture, and you don't see yourself tilted. That's why great people have coaches. Michael Jordan, Les Brown, Kobe Bryant. People had coaches, advisors, counselors. Don't be afraid to get a counselor. Don't be afraid to get advisors. Don't be afraid to get a coach. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I need an accountant. My friend couldn't provide an accountant. I asked Billy Carson about accountant. He don't know a particular accountant. So I asked another friend. Boom. She found me a group of accountants. Now I need an accountant. Now I can go call them and find out what their services, what they cost, how they can help me, what I've been going through, and what I need to align with my business. I drink to that because I was running away from that for years. And sometimes we run away from what we're supposed to do. I've said this before. I used to run away from the mic. But no, when we run to the microphone, that's when I got on stage, sang, opened up a show for Shabba Ranks. If anybody know anything about Shabba Ranks, he was one of the biggest DJs back in the day. And I opened up a show for him in 1990. Shaggy I've opened up shows with. I've opened a show for the first reggaeton artist named El General or El General. I've opened up shows for people like him. Because I overcame the fear of the microphone. I'm not scared of this thing no more. I can't be afraid of it. Shabba, him there. And all the y'all them want a real rock killer. Want a wood burner. Need a real rock killer. Someone to give them love. Lad. Hardcore love. Big up to my brethren Shabba, born January the 17th, 1967. He's born a month before me because I'm born February 1st, 1967. And he's born January 17th, 1967. Shabba. So once you overcome certain fears, that's when things happen, family. So everything you want is on the other side of fear. And like Franklin D. Roosevelt says, the only thing we got to fear is fear itself. I think it was Franklin D. Roosevelt, or it could have been Theodore D. Roosevelt. It could have been Theodore Roosevelt. It could have been one of them, but I know it was one of the Roosevelt brothers or a family. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. That's the only thing we got to fear is fear itself. Like they say, false expectation appearing real. That's the only thing we got to fear is fear itself. That's why don't let the media scare you. Don't let all this madness out there scare you. You have to control what's going inside of you so you don't lower the frequency and the energy of you and then allow any type of disorder to come inside of you. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. Matter of fact, enough respect to Haiti. I have Haitian friends. I've had Haitian girlfriends before. Enough respect to Haiti. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I didn't break down the numerology of that because that's not me. You know, that's people that like to do that. It's cool. But, they've been after Haiti for years. And I believe that's more, no, you know what? I feel that is more HARP. That's more HARP. If y'all know anything about HARP, y'all Google up the word the acronym HAARP. HARP. Google that up. I think that's HARP because how is it that Haiti and Dominican Republic is on the same island, but only Haiti is affected by all these earthquakes? I don't understand. Something else is happening underground because they got a lot of gold and a lot of copper there too in Haiti. So they might be doing some major blasts under there and we don't know. Clinton's has been in there, all these people. So I'm not going to go into the mathematics of that. The probably Blue Pill will go into it. People that deal with gematria should go into it. I rather, like I said, my job is to keep you numerovated, keep you motivated, even during what's going on in Haiti. Because, and interesting enough, I remember Haiti had a major earthquake on January the 12th, a couple of years ago. That was a major blow to Haiti. And now to have it again in August of this year, just recently, it's a tumultuous thing. And my heart goes out to all Haitians, all my Haiti brothers and sisters. I was hanging out with a Haitian actor today, and we was talking about this new script that I wrote. But I didn't know. She didn't say anything, so I guess it must have happened while we were sitting down at the restaurant talking about this stuff. But I didn't know that Haiti had gotten hit until people started posting it. So enough respect to the Haitian family. Long live Haiti all the time. Long live Haiti. They're trying to destroy you, but Haitian people are so resilient and strong. And back in the day, Jamaicans used to work with Haiti because we had the same language. There was no language barrier. Now we have language barrier because of the French and the Spanish and the English. So let's all just say prayers and salute the great Haitian Empire. More than likely, you'll probably hear more from either Blue might speak about it. Kaba Kamene already spoke about it. Other Haitian people, nationals, are speaking about it. My girl Ella from Nutritional Healing, she's a spiritualist. She's speaking about it. Thank you for even bringing that up, because I definitely love the Haitian people, because they're part of the bloodline from out of those rebellious Africans, and I know I was part of the Maroons and those great ones, those rebellious Africans that was dropped off in Haiti and Jamaica. That's why Bookman from Jamaica worked with the Haitian revolution back in the day, and I know I come from that blood. There's no doubt about it. But I'm doing it from another level, while there's others doing it from multiple levels. There's got to be levels to this stuff. There's levels to this, because every one of us, like Dr. Khalid Muhammad says, all of us have a saint, savior, soldier, scholar, healer, and killer in us. Every one of us out there has a saint, savior, soldier, scholar, healer, and killer inside of us. Which one you pull out, that's up to you. Right now I'm pulling out the healer. I'm using the healer. I know in my past life I must have been one of them killers, because I love martial arts, I love knives, I love swords, I love all kinds of stuff. So I know in my past life it was something else. And I love music too. So, one of those guys that would sit at the corner playing my guitar or playing something, and inside the guitar, behind the guitar, there's a sword or machete right behind it, ready to do what I gotta do when it's time. I was one of those people. All right, but I got to get ready to get out of here. Hit me up on my profile, and my link tree in my profile. Hit up my link tree on my profile, and you can get to all my books. But I only got 3 hardcover books left. Hit me up on the DM if you want these books. I got 3 of them. I'll sign every one of them for you. 3 of them. And if you do have a bookstore, I do wholesale. If you buy 6 or more, if you do have a bookstore or a bookstore that you're connected to and you want my books in there, I have a wholesale. I have a wholesale price also for my soft cover books and my hard cover books. So just let me know if you do have a bookstore in your neighborhood that you feel that it should be in that bookstore. Boom. If you want it in the libraries, you got to request it. You got to put in the ISBN and they'll look it up, and they can actually order it and bring it into the library also, if you want it into libraries. If you have a black bookstore, or a metaphysics bookstore, you can order my books. It's good for metaphysics also. Okay, more than likely it's going to be in Stone Mountain. Right now it's in Drop Squad Kitchen. Those in Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. It's in Drop Squad Kitchen. Nicholas, she says she wants to order some, so we'll see. I don't know. It's not at yet. It's not at African Worlds yet. I think numbers are simple. People are complicated as that African world, but it is what it is. So have a great day, afternoon, and evening. Love and respect you. Love and respect the energy, the participating energy that we're giving each other. So every time I see you and see the numbers or see the people, numbers might not be high, but it's all about quality, not just quantity. But quantity would be good because everybody's getting the message. But sometimes when you have too much quantity, a lot of trolls come on there, and I'm not with the trolling stuff. I don't like that because I don't troll people, so they shouldn't even troll me. But because that's who they are, that's what they do. It's an energy. When you become a troll, it's an energy. It's an energy. People that are trolling other people, that's an energy, and maybe that's the energy that they resonate with. So I understand. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe. Overcome fear, family. That's the only way it's going to happen. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Peace.